Hey, welcome to Illuminatrix Tarot. My name is Anye, and today I'm going to be sharing a message with you that I got, that I've been getting over and over again. I just didn't know how to share it. Let me turn down my little musica here. There we go. I got this message a few times. I just didn't know how to share it and how to verbalize it. But I think I have a pretty good idea of it now. So I was brought here, I feel, on behalf of, I'm speaking on behalf of our future selves, and our future selves that are in very close communication with spirit, that are in very close communication with the Most High, with our spirit team, our spirit guides, ancestors, angels, with the most benevolent, elevated, and empowered order. Those who are working on our behalf in the spirit realm to help us to step more deeply into our purpose and to illuminate our paths. And just provide that support. And this message has come to me before, and it didn't make sense before. I was like, I feel like I'm just saying stuff. Like, I don't know if this. I think I was too concerned about offending people or making people feel as though I was attempting to diminish or trivialize their traumas and their experiences. And so I will preface this by saying I've come into this conversation very lightly, and I've come into this discussion with reverence for everyone's path and everyone's journey and everyone's experience. I am a survivor of trauma myself, right? I have had sexual, emotional trauma, and have been in relationships where I was put in harm's way, right? And so I've had my own experiences. However, I do not allow those things to define who I am. I don't allow those things to, that version of me or the experiences that I've had to define or be indicators for what I can and cannot do and who I can and cannot be. So I will say that. I will never trivialize anyone's experience here. We all have, a lot of us have complex traumas, have been through very specific experiences that have shaped and molded us. And so I will say that right off rip. You will never, I really want to make sure that you don't ever experience my shares or the things that I am speaking to in these videos for them to feel like anything less than an intentional illumination of that which will empower you, right? Of information that will empower you, of perspectives that will help you to use your power in a way that liberates you versus in a way that imprisons you. And so with that, I want to get into the conversation I was going to have today, which is around how have you ever heard the term or the saying, you're disempowered, you're out of your power, right? I know we've all heard that saying, all heard that, experienced, reading that somewhere, or feeling like we have described our current experience. Like I feel disempowered, I feel out of my power, I feel, like I've lost my power. And I once had said this before about myself, and it made sense at the time, but recently I have felt as though that how I approach power is shifting, and it is now shifting to this awareness that I've always been in my power. I've just been misusing it. I think we all have always had power there, and I think when the conversation becomes that we are out of power, or we are somehow separate from it, it feels like a really big, hard, challenging task to get it back. The thing, though, is that I don't ever think we're away from our power. I think that we're either, like I said previously, using our power to contribute to our expansion and our happiness and our wellness and our liberation in the present moment, or we are using and implementing our power in a way that imprisons us. But we are always using our power. Always using our power. And so that's why I came here today, to share that I've shared this with you. And I'm going to pull some cards around it because I think it's something that I want to know. What I asked Spirit myself was, what this is a collective thing, and I think we all need to be reminded that we are always in our power. It's just that we have complete free will and sovereignty on how we implement the power, where we project that power, right? Where we pour that power into. Right now, you're using your power to watch this video, to click on this video. You used your power, you use your sovereignty, and you mainly use our power through our choices, right? So whether you're going to eat this food or that food, you're implementing your power either way. Whether you're going to text that ex or not text that ex, you're using your power. Whether you're going to engage in that drama or not engage in that drama, you're using your power, right? Whether you're going to consume this or that content, it goes on and on and on. The list can go on and on, loves. But either way, you're implementing and using your power in some shape, form, or fashion. It's just which way, in what way is it empowering you? Is it expanding that power and helping you to remember it and stay connected to that awareness of it? Or is it making it so that you forget how close your power always is to you, how it's always there at your core? Because there are things that we can do that completely make us like click in our brain. We just forget that we have it there. And when it comes to past experiences, and I want to speak to this because I feel like the conversation can be that what happens for children, people who are helpless, there is a difference. And right now I'm speaking to those who are able-bodied adults, able to make their own decisions. Because if as a child, as a youth, there is always this little caveat that makes it so that someone else's power can trump yours, or the moment that you attempt to use and implement your power in any way, shape, or form, you're punished for it. I know this firsthand, and if you grew up in a Black family, you may be able to relate. You were not allowed to use your power, right? And that for using your power in any way, shape, or form, especially in the presence of adults, was you being disrespectful to authority. And so when we've learned that, and if you've learned that as well, if you've learned that to use your power equals punishment, that storyline sticks with you. The difference though, now, if you are an able-bodied adult, paying your own bills, doing your own shiz, right? Living your own little life, your own big life, baby. We're not there anymore. Someone else's power doesn't get to trump ours. And in the moments where we may have experienced, like for me, there were moments of trauma that felt like it stole my power from me. The thing is, that never happened. Those experiences that felt like they were so deeply wounding, and they harmed us in many ways. In those moments of those experiences, our perception of ourselves and of our power, our perception was poisoned. And it's at this point, at a certain point, you start to recognize the poison is lingering in your psyche, and it's coming through your perception of yourself and how much power you actually have, and if your power is even there. The thing is that it's always been there. And like I said, you were either too young to have the capability, right? Or to be in a situation where you felt safe enough to embody and stand in that power because of fear of punishment, or an experience that you had poisoned your perception of the power that you actually have and made you believe that you don't have it. And I think it's important for in this moment that we be reminded that we're always using our power. It's always there. It's just our choice of how we use it. When we are in the process of, especially on a healing journey, there's so many ways in which we are told to take the power back. And that's true to an extent. It's a taking back of your perspective and a taking back of the truth. A taking back of what is true. And the truth is that you were always in your power. You always have had the power. It was just that in some situations, another person's power overtook. It was, in a way, it overpowered your power. Whether it was a teacher, whether it was a partner, whether it was some random person. And those experiences can be so they can shake us so deeply that they really shift and poison our perspective of ourselves and how much power we truly have. And I say this is a collective experience, like I said, because we all have had our own traumas. And I want to pull cards around this because I wanted to ask Spirit, what is the trigger point at any moment for why where there is moments of forgetfulness of this power? Where is the moment? Because have you ever had a moment or a season of your life where you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change, I'm going to make this change, especially at the beginning of the year, right? You're like, I'm going to make this change, I'm going to lose the weight, I'm going to be eating better, I'm going to, not entertain this kind of relationships anymore, and you're all for it. Like you feel 10 toes down, right? And like few weeks in, it's just like, and every time you take that step, right, you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, damn, bro, I'm really doing it. And you have this excitement and this joy, and you're just like, bro, you're just so proud of yourself. And in those moments, you are experiencing your future self in the present, the version of you that you had envisioned in the past that was a future self. You're now being that self, right? And you see them. And then something happens weeks in that you just you don't see them anymore because you just stop using your power in the way that you were for those last few weeks. You stop using it that way. You start using it in a way that keeps you trapped in the habits and the things that you didn't want to do. And my question to Spirit is, what is the trigger point? Because I know there is a collective trigger point here. And I could be wrong, but there feels like a collective trigger point because everyone talks about it. Oh yeah, new year, new me. Everybody say that shit. And I know consistency is a big part of it. I know consistency is huge. But there is something that is a core at the collective level that causes this trigger point of regression. Right? And using our power as a portal to imprisonment versus a portal to our liberation. And so I wanted to come here and put this message out there and share whatever comes through, whatever Spirit decides to share with us. And I kept feeling like this message was for me, but then Spirit was like, nah, dag. Nah, dag. I want you to see my little smoke. Me cute. Nah, dog. It's not just for you, bro. It's for all of us. It's for all of y'all. I'm sorry. But it's for all of us. Spirit said it's for all y'all. It ain't just for you, honey. Get it right, get it tight. So I got my cards, I got a few oracle decks, and I'm going to use some tarot. That was too many. So I have a few cards, and I'm going to wait for all of them to come out. So I'm asking Spirit, what is the trigger point as I'm shuffling, thinking about what the trigger point is. What is the trigger point for the regression? From using our power as a portal to self-imprisonment versus using our power as a portal to liberation and expansion and being our future selves in the present. That's real shit, y'all. Watch one of my favorites on here, Your Spiritual Mermaid, Elizabeth. She talks about timeline jumping and your future self and present self and all those things. And on her Patreon, she does really beautiful, she's doing this Leap series. It's good shit, y'all. It's good shit. Okay. I'm gonna get one from this deck, and then I will pull tarot around this. Please comment down below if y'all have felt this, if y'all can relate to this message, because it felt so relevant. It just felt so relevant. It really, really did. I'll let it one fall out. Oh, I'm getting the message already. That's beautiful. I'm gonna do a quick shuffle of this. I haven't shuffled this one. Let's do a little cuddy-wuddy. Alright. Spirit, can I have... guidance on this? Ooh, okay, nope, that's too much. Alright, nope, that's too much. That was a lot. We're not gonna do all that. That's too much, bruv. I think there's a lot of emotions and energy going on. That's why all those came out. But what is the root of this trigger point that causes the regression and the shift in how we use our power, specifically for the collective that is here? Trigger point. Root of this trigger point. I don't know if I should take the card off the top. I feel like I should. Okay. Okay. I feel like I should take 3, and that makes sense because it makes sense. That makes sense because it makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna take a pic of this really quick just so y'all can see what I'm looking at. Don't mind everything else on my table, okay? I only have so much desk space here. I'm gonna take a pic and then I will try to do a picture in picture, okay? Of what I'm seeing right now. So, first cards I pulled were New Beginnings, Slow but Steady, And then struggle at the bottom of the deck with new day. And then stripping illusions. I feel like this is very much all collectively relevant. These are all the cards I got. This is stripping illusions. This is new day. We have struggle, which is right at the top. And then these are the two cards that came out right on the table. Okay? And they are slow but steady and new beginnings. And as soon as I see these cards, it feels like it's a struggle for many of us to start new things when we haven't yet stripped the illusions of the old from our vision. Like I said, the past poisons our perception, right? And when we haven't stripped away and sucked all the poison right out and let our perception become very clear, where we're perceiving from a very grounded place, then it can feel like it's kind of like we're using really old engine fuel to try and power this new vehicle of ourselves, of our mind. I don't know where the fuck that analogy just came from or that metaphor just came from, but it works. Thank you. Using that old fuel, and I don't even know if this is a thing, but like real old rusty ass oil to try and heat our home, or old gasoline, old oil, and to fuel this new thing, to warm this new big house. This old junky oil heater is trying to heat this new house, or this old ass engine is trying to run this car. Let's say it that way. And it's going, that in and of itself creates struggle. It creates the feeling of struggle because we are trying to use old tools to do a job that they were never meant to do. We're trying, and the thing is that with this power, they are clouding this poison, and these illusions are feeding us false information about our real capacity, right? And the fact that we create the fuel, we create the power within ourselves, and these illusions are telling us that something has to give it to us. And so when you're starting something new and you're really on this trajectory of becoming this new person and stepping into this future version of yourself in the present, there is this illusion that she's not there, he's not there, this person is not there. Like you have to go find them. That you have to go do this thing or get this thing for you to be them, for you to feel like them, rather than knowing that they've always been there. It's just you utilizing the potential, utilizing your potential, the potential that they have shown you that you have, using it in the present rather than thinking that it's something that you have to grasp for. And so it feels like with this new day, I think when it's very much requires for us to, when we're trying to step into this power and using this power differently, it's necessary that when we feel the past stories and the past mindsets and the past, that poison from the past trying to leak into our current present perception of ourselves and what we're capable of doing, that we suck out that poison in the moment, that we do the inquiry work with ourselves, that we catch it in the moment and be like, fuck that, right? Actually, I'm not letting this trick me into using my power against myself. Because in a lot of ways, the person or the people or the situations that and the experiences that convinced us that they were more powerful or that we had no power, that storyline got stuck. Right? And their attempt was to keep us in that space of feeling like we didn't have the power. And so for us to reach this new day, when we become this new person and we experience this new beginning, it is necessary that we take our time with the slow and steady card. Because the faster we try to go, this fish is swimming upstream, really struggling. And I think that trying to rush, and we're taught in society we have to go, right? It's never teaching us to go slow and steady, to take our time, because as you start to use your power differently, the parts of you that are like, this is not real, they're like in denial, because those are the parts of you that in a way you suppressed or were manipulated into thinking that that's not an option. And those parts will come up, and you need to go slow and steady so that you can catch them in the moment, remind them of the truth, and then keep moving, rather than trying to skip over that shit, because it's gonna keep coming up. And then it comes to a point where it just kind of gets so big that there's so much to sort through, and then you're just stuck, and you feel just like what is the word? Frozen, right? And then stagnancy kicks in, and then then self-pity kicks in, and then you start to use your power against yourself by being like, I don't have time anyway. It was never gonna work anyway. I don't have what I need anyway. Oh, no one was gonna support me anyway. And now you're using that power, the power of your perspective, right? The choices that you have to make, do this or that or that. You're using it against yourself, and your power is becoming a portal to imprisonment in that moment. One choice after another. One choice to perceive this thing at like this versus that after another. That makes sense? And then I pulled out some other cards we had from this deck. I'll put all the decks in the bottom. We had Hermit, Retreat, and Recharge, but it came out on its side. So I'll show you in the upright. Hermit, Retreat, and Recharge, but it came out on its side. And with that, it feels like we're always one moment, and at the bottom of the deck we have take care of your needs. So we have two very specific cards talking about caring for yourself, and then with this slow and steady card and the struggle, this is talking about what is the opposite of retreating and recharging. What is the opposite of taking care of your needs? It's struggling upstream when you know that you need to take your time. You need to take your time, right? And allow the newness to be unknown to you, because I think being in that unknown space is so fucking uncomfortable for a lot of us. And so we try to rush through it. I can't be here. I don't know what the fuck's happening. I don't like sitting still. I don't like being in that space. I need to go. I need to get where I want to get so that I can be like, phew, done. Sorry, my camera turned off, but I need to get where I need to go, or I'm trying to go, so that I can just be done with this. Like, phew, okay, that shit is over. Because that discomfort can feel so like, ick. It could just feel so uncomfortable. You just don't like it, right? The thing is that in those moments of discomfort, I like to see discomfort for myself as a doorway. And every time I reach a point of discomfort, I get to walk through that doorway rather than backing up and seeing it as a danger zone. Nope, can't go in there. I see it as a doorway, and I get to open that. That's my choice. I get to use my power to step through that doorway of discomfort and look at what's behind it. Maybe clean up that closet a little bit, clean out the clutter. And in that cleaning out the clutter, I'm cleaning out and sucking out the poison through that work. I'm cleaning out the clutter that is clouding my perception. And in that, with the other, if you want to use the other metaphor, I'm sucking the poison out from the past. The way the past has poisoned my perception of myself in the present. You get what I'm saying? And so with this taking care of your needs and retreat and recharge, it's very much like the power that you have in the present moment is to do just that. To recognize when you are starting to swim upstream and how that is starting to impact your awareness of how you're using your power. Because when we're in a state of struggle, it's usually us creating that state for ourselves. Not always, because sometimes there are circumstances that very much are out of our control, right? And that's always going to be an inevitable thing. It just is what it is going to be inevitable that some circumstances are going to be out of our control. The thing here is saying that this person is very much actively by himself. He went into this cave by choice. He stepped away and went into solitude by choice. He is taking care of his needs by choice, intentionally. And there's slowness here. This slow and steady card, there's slowness. He is still. He's not even just slow, he's still. And I think when we sit still, there's a lot of discomfort that comes up, but we can either use our power to step through over the threshold of that doorway of discomfort and see what's behind it. Take the time, slow and steady, to work through it, to go through it. Get rid of what doesn't need to be there. Look at why this thing is even there to begin with. How did this thing even get in here? And remove it. Get rid of it. Release it. And then there's this newness and there's this new beginning, because now there's so much space and you can let in. With this new beginning, you get to let in new shit. Stuff that that amplifies your power and amplifies your awareness of how you can use it as a portal to your expansion and your liberation, rather than it being the things that were trapped inside of that doorway and poisoning and being so full of clutter and cluttering and clouding your perception of yourself in the present. Because you learn, as you declutter, you become clear. Right? You become clearer and your perception you feel so much more alive and awake. Because now you're not bogged down. You're not bogged down anymore. You are liberating yourself of literal mental, emotional weight, and that comes through in your physical vessel. I hope that I'm holding on to y'all here. I hope that y'all are understanding, because these cards are speaking beautifully to this. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, I hope that this makes sense. But it's making perfect sense to me. I hope it's making sense to you. And the next cards that we have are the goddess Hestia, the goddess of sanctuary. No matter where I am home. The most sacred sanctuary is found within me. And then we have Bridget, the goddess of the eternal flame. I am an eternal flame, and each day my light grows brighter. This is this new day to me. We have Hestia, and then we have Bridget. And to me, this is signifying, Hestia, first of all, looks like she has fire behind her, like that inner light glowing behind her. And so does Bridget. She has the fire around her head. So this is, to me, signifying an illumination and an awakeness and a very awake perception. Like they're all around their heads, and hers are coming out of her, Hestia's. This idea of home, this is what I see. This rest, retreat, recharge, and creating a home within yourself that feels safe. Because I think a lot of times we've been taught that because we have to go outside, we've been taught to go outside of ourselves and find things that make us feel safe, to find things that make us feel like we're okay and that we're valid and that confirms our worth. We've made homes in other places outside of ourselves, in other people. And as soon as those things are not there, we just feel like, whoa, what the fuck do I do now? And because of that, we start to feel like there's nothing there. And then we forget how to use our power. We forget that our power is there and that we're always using it. But now we're using it in a way that is opposing us, right? We're not using our power as an ally. We're using our power as an opponent. So with that, I am home, no matter where I am, it's very much being able to remind yourself, oh shit, I always have the keys. I always have the option. I always have the choice. I'm always free. I always have an option. And reminding yourself that, and not needing anything outside of you to remind you of that, because it's just this inner knowing. Because the sanctuary is a sacred place where you protect and you put boundaries around that. And you put boundaries around that by keeping out anything that clutters your perception and tries to clutter your ability to see clearly. Because this is a sanctuary. You are a sanctuary. Your heart is a sanctuary. And when you do this work, it's very much recognizing what things are trying to interfere with the sanctity of that sanctuary. Yeah? And you do that by retreating and recharging and reflecting. I would say this is a reflection card. And you come out with this new awareness of yourself every single day, every single time that you check in and you take care of your needs. And you recognize when you're bypassing what really needs to be done. Moving into the tarot. The cards that came out were the Strength card, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. Now, with this Strength card, it's very much like this, the part of you that knows how to use your power in a way that does not destroy you. Because if you can see, she is controlling this lion's mouth. She's opening the jaws, closing the jaws. And she also has the infinity symbol atop her head, floating above her head. Okay? And she's dressed in white and she has flowers all over her dress, right? With a crown of flowers on. There is a nurturance that is balanced with a fierceness. To me, that's what this card says. There is a nurturing of the fiercest parts of you, knowing that you have all the capacity and all the strength, and knowing how to channel that strength, knowing how to utilize that power, and that ever flowing with that infinity symbol, that ever present, ever flowing fountain of strength and power within you. This is so beautiful. And with this Ace of Pentacles, outside of this gate, inside you see there's a garden flourishing, right? The garden is flourishing on the inside, but right outside that archway, you see that there is blank canvas. And there's this pentacle being offered by the divine. This is always usually an offering from the divine, right? Or some kind of offering. This is a 3D offering, something that is allowing you to build something new. But outside this archway is this blank land. It's uncultivated land. And with these two cards together, it's saying to me that the capacity that you have to create the life that you want is always at your fingertips. And it is, based off of this message, very much The foundation of it is your perception and how you use your power. How you use the power of your choice. How you use the power of your voice. How you use the power of your free will. Because every decision that you make is you operating in using your power in one way or another. And here she is very much like, I could let this lion go the fuck off and rip off every head in the room. Right? And operate in that place of pride, or in a place that's so fearful that I go into the defensive. Or I can choose to step into that fierceness in the moments that I feel like I have to kind of assert a boundary. Right? I can use it in the moments where I get to embody this capacity to speak for myself, to embody my power in a way that is informative to those in my vicinity, that I shan't be trifled with. But only when it's necessary. She is opening and closing this mouth. It's when it's necessary. When do I need to display this specific characteristic that I know it is there? Right? When is it necessary? But only when it's necessary. Other than that, I'm chilling. I'm in my white dress. I'm creating. I got my flowers all over me. I know that I got this infinity symbol and it's within me. It's above her head, but it's within us. Right? It's very much always present with me. My connection to the divine is always there. I'm chilling. I don't always have to be displaying my power. I don't have to use it in a way that it becomes a weapon against other people. Right? Because to weaponize yourself is to take yourself. It's not that eventually weapons run out of bullets and then you have to refill it. You don't run out of shit. You are an ever-flowing well. So don't sell yourself short by turning yourself into a weapon. Right? Sometimes fights are won and battles are won in silence. Through inaction. Only you will know when is what is required when. But the overall gist of this card is knowing how to use your power and in what circumstances, what parts of your power are necessary, but always knowing that you are being intentional about using your power on your behalf. And you're not using your power as a means of belittling or harming any other person, because in that moment you're still using your power against yourself. You may think that you're only harming them, but you're harming you, because we have this 8 of Swords here. And in this 8 of Swords, she's standing amongst these swords. The swords are your ideas about life, how you understand something, thoughts, ideas. They're very mindset based. They're of the mind, the swords. And she is standing amongst these swords, blindfold on, rope around her, but her feet are free. And I like to see this card as a willful ignorance. When she knows she has to look at some shit, and she knows in this card, but whenever you get this card, it's like a what are you lying to yourself about kind of thing. Because when you are projecting something on another person and using your power as a weapon against another person to harm them, like to really harm them, to wound their ego, to wound them emotionally, to wound them mentally, there is something within you that you are not trying to see. And maybe they are reflecting to you what you don't want to see, and so you fire because they're a threat. This is where the work comes in. This is the doorway. This is an indication that you need to walk through a doorway of discomfort, and that you are seeing this discomfort as a danger zone rather than a doorway. And you get to walk through the doorway, take the blindfold off, take the rope off of yourself, and look at what's there. And as soon as you unclutter and you do declutter and you look at all the shit, you get rid of, you notice what it is, in what way you were wounded to the point where you felt like you had to use your power in that way. And then it's a new day for you. You have a new beginning now, because now you're aware. And as soon as that awareness comes in, there's like this clarity and this aha, and it feels like a new day, like a new beginning. And now you get to step out of this space of lying to yourself about how much power you have or how you're using your power, right? And into a space of, we have the Eight of Wands and the High Priestess, and this is a perfect next step after that, because with the Eight of Wands, sometimes it can say this is your wishes coming to fulfillment, right? But the Eight of Wands can also be you allowing your energy, like seeing how it feels to use your energy, to let your energy expand, to let yourself expand energetically. And then that being what magnetizes all the things that match that frequency footprint, the energetic footprint. This is all these energetic aspects of you kind of seeing how it feels to let your energy just flow. Over and over again, you're opening one doorway after another, facing discomfort and opening the doorway one after another. And then you're stepping into your power over and over and over again. And then it just kind of like amplifies. And at some point you're using your power as a portal to your liberation and as a portal to all the things that you were trying to accomplish in your life. And then you have the High Priestess underneath, which is saying, but this is your intuition. This is your higher self. When you let yourself get into that bigness and you let yourself become energetically amplified, tapping into your High Priestess energy, the knowing within you, that helps you to come to an understanding of when you need to retreat and recharge. When you are struggling and swimming upstream. What illusions you need to strip away, right? And then you truly start to experience abundance. And emotional release. That was underneath abundance. Because the more that you go through these doorways, there is going to be a necessity of you to honor what emotions need to be released from you. It is going to be necessary for you to honor that. Underneath the High Priestess and the Eight of Wands, we have the Page of Wands and the Devil. And it felt necessary to mention these because this seems like a continuation of this guidance. The Page of Wands is about this fresh, new way that we're using energy, right? Where there's this new perspective, like a youthfulness to how we're using this new way of using our energy. And maybe it's like one of my favorite tarot readers says, it's about splashing paint on the walls, right? Seeing where it sticks, seeing what lands, like a playful energy in a way that you're using your energy. The thing about this, and not even using just your energy, but your power, right? Because your energy is power. This Devil energy here, this card is telling me that the way that we use this youthful newness, this freshness, there's a very new, fresh eyes kind of perspective that this Page of Wands gives us. And with the Devil, it's saying that are the poison from our past and the ways that it has trickled into our present through our habits, through our thought patterns, through how we use our energy, through the vices that we give our energy to, the addictions, the things that we know are harmful towards us, that we choose to, Eight of Swords, ignore, that they are harming us in this way. That's that Devil energy. The things that feel like they have us in a chokehold. this fresh new energy can get quickly hijacked if we're not aware of how we are using this page of wands energy, right? When we're splashing paint on the walls and we're getting into this new beginning and this new day and letting ourselves start to experience using our power in a way that is a portal to liberation, right? Rather than a portal to imprisonment, this devil energy, like I said, the parts of us who are like, no, that doesn't feel right, that's actually not what we do this. The parts that have in a way been scared, right? Or tricked into suppressing that power, right? Into using that power against themselves. They can creep up, right? And they can creep up through our habits, they can creep up through our thoughts, they can creep up while we're starting on this new journey. And this is about, it's a spirit saying, be mindful. And we have this high priestess right above these, because this higher self, this version of you who is aware, who is mindful and aware, they are going to notice when this devil is starting to creep up and affect how we're using our energy, and how it's starting to taint this amplification of our energy, of how we're using our power. And it's starting to poison the well again, right? And then we get to stop, retreat and recharge, and step into an awareness of how we are using that power and what kind of world we are building. Because this pentacle is something that we're building in the 3D, right? And it's how we're using that energy and building, right? My son is probably going to come knocking on the door in a few seconds. So I'm going to have to head out. But I really hope this landed. And I hope this served someone, one of you out there in this collective. And please do comment down below. Like this video if it was supportive. Private message me. Let me know how this landed with you. It felt necessary to share. But ultimately, my intention was to let you know that you are always using your power, and your power is a portal. You get to decide what it is a portal to. Okay? All right. Take care, you all. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.